Today's patio chat is being brought to you locally by Westridge Furniture in Delphus. See it all at your finer outdoor furniture store.
Well, sometimes you just turn to social media for a little bit of help and hints when it comes to gardening. We're not all master gardeners like OSU Extension Master Gardener Gretchen Staley who's here with us today. And so sometimes we have questions, but when we get it from social media, it's not the full story that we should be listening to.
Right. That's the thing with our world. Like, there's a lot of really, and I myself, have gotten a lot of really nice little hints and tips of various things in my world, from a little TikTok video or showing you a little bit of a better or easier way to do something. And so it's part of how the world works, and that's awesome. But when I saw the 5th or 6th variation of the same kind of new tip, it seems to be popular this season. I've heard a lot of people talking about chop and drop, where that an easier way to maintain your garden and at the end of the season is to just chop everything up and let it drop in your soil. And the premise being, and it is valid, that anything green in your garden, and even brown, because you've heard me say, leave the leaves, chop them up with your mower instead of bagging them up and hauling them off site, because that plant material does have nutrients in it.
Sure.
And so it's like kind of supposed to be a shortcut to composting, maybe, that save those nutrients and keep them in your garden. And there is validity to that. I personally can see some bigger issues with that, beyond just the fact that unless you kind of have just a natural cutting garden or a vegetable garden that you don't see a lot, that being unsightly, that there are some issues. So I think it's great, and I do it too. I'll save a few of my cosmos and zinnias, and even to a certain point, the black-eyed Susans, when, if I know that I want more plants. But again, like black-eyed Susan gets kind of a bad rap because people say, well, I have it and then it took over my garden. Well, if you're leaving the seed heads,
that's what
you're
happens.
helping contribute to it taking over your garden. So, I love butterfly weed. It's an Ascletia. It's a hybridized version of milkweed, and it does feed the butterflies and everything. But each one of these little pods has almost 100 seeds in it. So, if I'm just chopping and dropping, and then
those 100 seeds go in the ground
in the spring when I'm digging out 100 butterfly weeds, I might not feel like I saved myself much effort.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think so. Right, exactly.
So, and then the other thing to consider, when we're talking about just chop and drop, again, there are some plants that can be really easy and valid for, but we also have to think about pests and diseases. So, like, turning just to the vegetable garden, cabbage worms, potato beetles, squash bugs, cutworms, those are all things that if you have problems with your garden and have pest pressure, they overwinter in this stuff. So that's part of the reason why with your vegetable gardens in particular, it's important for good cleanliness in the garden and removing a lot of that leaf litter, because it stops harboring the bad guys.
Right, that you don't want.
And it also helps reduce and in our ornamental gardens, like our slugs and our hostas and stuff, they lay their eggs on the leaves and things. So why not try to clean those up and get that out and reduce your bug pressure? And the same happens with the pests, our diseases, the mildews, black spot, funguses, all those can have adapted here, so they can withstand our winters. So
clean them out, get them out, because you don't want to keep them around for next year. Yeah, I get it.
I will go back, leave the leaves, chop them with your mower.
Chop them with your mower. Good idea. Thanks for coming today.
You're welcome.
All right, don't go away. Nina Dish continues in a moment.